Well, and XRP fans, I have amazing news to share with you, and it has to do with adoption and in the United States. Talking about moving money, we're also going to talk XRP price. RLUSD is hot in China. It's not going to stop the crypto market.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Bank of America's not worried about DeepSeek, and neither am I. The market, this is going to be short term, not worried about this either. But before we get into the crypto news, especially juicy Ripple news, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Fly tip 8378 says the voice of reason rings out. If in doubt, zoom out, preach. Yeah, we just got to let the stock markets and traditional markets digest the news. Essentially, what's happening with DeepSeek is this. China did it, and they said they did it for a fraction of the cost that we did in the United States. But I also remember China telling us all that they made money on the Olympics, and that ended up being complete BS. Ghostbeard says someone is up 11% because they were smart enough to have been listening to Klaus to try to bring you the news, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad, so that you can make the best choices. Eric Stevens says, hey, Klaus, you want to hear something wild? Well, of course, man. There's not one single bank where I live that will allow crypto to be cashed out. My bank threatened to call the feds on me if I tried to cash out my crypto. You should share this information with your viewers. Yeah, everyone, please let me know down below if where you live is still not crypto friendly. Bitcoin's in at 99,000, ETH 3,053, XRP at 289, while XLM's at 38.6. I'm honestly not worried about this at all because the stock market, right? Traditional markets have to digest the news. Futures got rocked, right, when the whole DeepSeek thing came out. Now we got to let the traders trade, and you know what happens. The whales, they buy on the dip. Stock market today, NASDAQ, tech, rocked. And remember, crypto falls within that thing. Why? Because of DeepSeek. Like I said, I'm not worried. And essentially, China's saying, hey, we made juicy AI stuff at a fraction of what you could here in the United States, and ours doesn't use that much power. I think they're full of shit, personally. CryptoQuant CEO highlights similarities between meme coins and art marks. Okay, we're not going to talk about meme coins or art markets, but I do want to share with you this quote because I think this really puts it all into perspective. Jude likened the current problems in the space to how Bitcoin was criticized 10 years ago and tagged as a speculative asset tied to drug deals and money laundering activities. Just like Bitcoin has evolved over the years and grown into a major global asset, the next few years could see the meme coin sector mature as well, and I believe we could see the alts really roar with regs coming into play. Solvable problems are resolved over time. If inherently insolvable, the industry collapses. This isn't to dismiss Bitcoin, but to encourage the awareness of where the world is heading. I hope you consider this as a possible future. Let me ask you this. What problem does XRP solve? Yeah, you get exactly what I'm talking about. Here's why Bank of America is not worried about DeepSeek. And don't worry, we're going to get into big Ripple ecosystem news. DeepSeek's R1 model has garnered attention for its ability to match the performing of OpenAI and ChatGPT at the fraction of the cost. The model was developed using older NVIDIA H800 chips at a cost of less than $6 million. I'm calling total bullshit on this. Seriously, this totally reminds me of when China did the Olympics and they were like, yo, we made money on the Olympics. Oh my gosh. And you know how it goes. No one makes money on the Olympics, right? They spend all this money to get it going, the advertising, the building the place. And what did we find out shortly after? That China was in massive amounts of debt because of the Olympics. So let China have their day. Let them try to FUD and rock the Western markets. We know who's going to win in the end. Ripple obtains money transmitter licenses in New York and Tejas. That's Texas for all of you outsiders. Blockchain firm Ripple has announced the acquisition of MTLs in New York and TX. Ripple noted that the new licenses align with the period of growing demand in both states for compliant real-time global payments. I actually agree with that because you know what? That is one of the big problems that crypto solves, real-time payments. We're continuing to see more interest from financial institutions and crypto businesses that want to unlock the benefits of crypto and blockchain for faster, cost-efficient 24/7 cross-border payments. And didn't I ask you earlier what problem crypto solve or what certain cryptos solve? Yeah, Ripple is well positioned to support the companies who are ready to take advantage of the current landscape. Joni Z, managing director of North America at Ripple. See, I make mistakes too, and I'll leave that one in. Why? Because I'm a humble creator. Now, that announcement and all the other articles, it's linked in the description below. The read is actually really good. This will take you probably about 5 minutes to do. I'll share with you a real quick section here. A growing number of U.S. policymakers and regulators are recognizing the importance of digital asset innovation, signaling a confidence in the realized and potential benefits at both the consumer and the industry level. And I think we have to really think about that because as a consumer, we could greatly benefit from that. I'm traveling abroad right now, and dude, it would be so awesome to swap money out instantly. But here, I'll tell you a story, okay? So in order for me to exchange USD for where I'm at right now, I went to my bank in the United States and they charged me 10%, which was actually really, really good for exchanging foreign currency, especially if it's not a common one, right? I go here, they're charging me 20% to change USD to their local currency. And we know with crypto, it's a fraction of a penny, right? And we could ramp stuff up, down, left, and right quickly. Now, let's talk about why this is so big for the entire ecosystem. I've got Ripple's RLUSD up on the screen. I want to share something with you, okay? Look at this volume for RLUSD. $285 million in the last 24 hours. And I know some of you out there are like, bro, that's nothing compared to Tether. That's nothing compared to USDC. Well, yeah, Tether and USDC have had like a multi-year head start on RLUSD, right? And we've seen, let's be real here, that even the SEC early on, and I'm talking about the Gensler era SEC, was threatening Ripple and said, yo, if you do anything else that's out of bounds, we're going to tax that ass, essentially hinting to the RLUSD launch. Now watch this, okay? Think of Ripple, and I want you to think of the company PayPal. PayPal is a massive company. In fact, there's a PayPal building like less than a block away from me. No, actually, it's a little bit further than that. Sorry, that was a little optimistic. It's maybe like 2 blocks away from me. It's a quasi PayPal building. Okay, it's a subsidiary. PayPal has been around for many, many years, right? So they've got this big support, they've got payments, all that kind of stuff. They also have their own stablecoin, which is called what? PYUSD. And don't worry, we're going to talk XRP price because I know a lot of you out there are worrying, but I'm telling you, I'm not at all. PayPal's PYUSD's volume in 24 hours, 55 million. RLUSD's almost 300 million. That's a 6x difference in the favor of RLUSD. And we know that helps out the entire Ripple XRP ecosystem, right? So think about that. In such a short time, Ripple's RLUSD is already garnering more trust and usage versus PayPal's PYUSD. Oh, okay. And now that Ripple got some money transmitter licenses in Tejas and Nuevo Yorko, I don't think that's how you say York, but that's just how I'm going to say it so it rhymes. Guess what? That's going to bolster the performance of the ecosystem even more. So keep that in mind. Stablecoins are about trust, right? You want to put your money into a stablecoin, you have to trust the entity issuing it. Obviously, bros and chicks are using RLUSD way more than PYUSD. And think PYUSD has had way bigger of a head start. In fact, look at this. PYUSD launched all the way back in August of 2023, while RLUSD launched all the way, no, not all the way, in December of 2024. So PayPal has had about 16-month advantage over Ripple. And yet Ripple's RLUSD volume is blowing the doors off of it. Speaking of volume, the exchanges are making massive amounts of money because the volume for XRP right now is up 443% to 15.1 billion. All of this is because of what? It is because of the DeepSeek thing. Now, there's a big event happening tomorrow, and what is that? On X Spaces, there's a big Ripple community event where Brad Garlinghouse is going to talk about the future. Now, let's zoom into the candlesticks, and I'm going to show you why I'm not upset. All right, we're going to go to the 15-minute here real quick. And all right, You could see right away, yeah, there was a little bit of resistance at the $3 mark, pushed us down, and right now we're floating right around 289, 290. All right, and I'm going to share with you why I'm not worried. I talked about it earlier in the video, but essentially the big reason why I'm not worried is this downward pressure has nothing to do with XRP directly. It has nothing to do with Ripple directly. It's not like the SEC came out and rocked Ripple or anything like that. No, the entire markets, stock markets have been pummeled globally by this news. XRP falls within the whole realm of tech, so it makes sense that XRP is getting kicked a little bit, but it's given some of you out there opportunities to buy some really juicy XRP prices, comparatively speaking, about a 10% discount. And let's be honest with each other here. 10% discount in crypto is nothing. We've all survived days that have been 20, 30% down. So this move right here doesn't bother me. Now, if we have a couple attempts here over the next few days where we don't push through this, then I'm going to get bothered a little bit because remember, we got Jerome Powell coming up in the next couple days with his meeting. That being said, I'm honestly not worried because this is a global push down of tech based on what? China being honest with us? Sorry, I didn't mean to make y'all laugh or spit out your drinks if you did. But for real, I don't believe half the shit that China says. And let's be honest here, we weren't even allowed to question whether the Rona came from a lab in China, right? Yeah. So do you really believe that China was able to make AI stuff for $6 million, where right now in the United States it's $1 billion worth of juice? I don't think so, girlfriend. I believe this is a market overreaction. Some of you out there have bought the dip. And remember, the bigs and the whales have been buying BTC and other cryptos no matter what, not worrying about the price. Why? Because they know when you zoom out and you look forward, we have way more positive outweighing the negative. And the negative right now is super short term. Be honest with me here. $2.89 XRP isn't that bad because the last several years we were hanging out in the 30, 40, 50 cent level for XRP. Now, what would cause me to worry would be Jerome Powell peeing in our Cheerios. And if the banks and other, market analysts out there started downgrading some of this tech stuff, then that would bother me. But the reality is this is all about power and it's all about control. China wants to be numero uno, so does the United States, so does Russia, and this is all part of the game. For those of you that are new to crypto, this volatility is nothing. A 10% move is like, I mean, seriously, like that used to happen like all the time back in the day. Remember when XRP was like 40 cents and we would be down like 8 cents in a day? Yeah, that's 10 to 20% right there. It just sounds different because 30 cents out of $3 is 10%. 4 cents out of 40 cents is still 10%, but 30 cents down sounds a lot worse than what everyone 4 cents down, but the proportions are the same. So I'm not worried. And speaking of not being worried, for me, it's just the opposite. I expect events like this. In fact, I think this is actually very healthy. You can't always have just green candlesticks just running amok. You can't have market hysteria because if you do have just like unlimited market hysteria, what happens? There's no support, right? So now we're starting to see where the market's pricing its low points at. And this is good for all of us because this gives us a really healthy idea of where the market is looking at for XRP. Remember when we went above $2 and all of a sudden we breached that $2 and went down? Yeah, it happened 3 different times. And oh my gosh, every time you would have read the comments, you would have thought like the world was on fire, not just California. Good joke there, huh? No, actually, poor joke, Klaus. Bad Saturday Night Live. You should not have done that. But anyways, yeah, we were all worried about that. And then look, after a few weeks, we rocketed past 250 and went on up to $3. So cool. Let us test three. Let us see what the market feels about the events right now. And then let's hang out again in about a month, right? We'll zoom out. We'll look back at this and go, oh, we were worried about that move. We were worried about China and DeepSeek. Come on now. So no, I'm honestly not worried, but I want to hear from you because remember, the viewer is most important. Are you worried about this or did you use this as an opportunity to add to the bags? Or, this is a big or were there other cryptos out there that maybe got pummeled a little bit more than XRP where you were like, yo, baby, I'm getting in on this action? By the way, Frankie and H-Bar fans, remember there's a big event coming up next month. Gonna do my best to see what I can do about coverage for you. I think I might play some Total War Rome too. Choo choo, bitches.